Well, good Monday morning to you. Welcome to our live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition, located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. Beautiful, sunshiny Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I know there's parades and celebrations going on in different areas along the Gulf Coast, so please be careful and watch the traffic as if you are headed out to any of those celebrations today. We started a thing last week on something that a lot of people think about doing after the new year and all that, and that's detoxing your body.
Yeah, and I think last week, we kind of established that, okay, you're toxic. I think we established that. So this week we want to spend our time talking about, okay, how do we get rid of this stuff? What do we do to detox?
And a lot of the nutrients that are necessary for detoxification.
Well, I actually saw where, I mentioned to y'all over the weekend on the news that some lady, 47 years old, was detoxing, and she took it to a little bit of an extreme. Mm-hmm. Too much water drinking, green tea, and all this stuff, taking this other stuff. She died.
Mm-hmm. It can happen.
And it really, is it really possible that you can overdo it?
Like you said, is they had talked about minerals and dehydration, and a lot of times, especially the strong
laxatives. There's hardly any salt in her body at all.
Well, and it will. We tell people salt is essential. Potassium is essential. Mm-hmm. And you can wash your minerals out, especially with all those laxatives. So if you're actually doing tons of laxatives, which many people think is how you detox, and that is not necessarily true. If you're going to the bathroom regularly, yes, your colon's going to cleanse itself. A lot of the detoxification happens in the liver, it happens in the kidneys.
Well, the gut and the liver is probably the two biggies. That's what we call the cytochrome P450 stuff, which is the phase one of the liver, or all the detoxification, whereas toxins have to be kind of packaged up, and we got to process this stuff so we can get it out of the body. And normally it's done either in the liver or like I say, some parts of the gut. And that takes the B vitamins. I mean, they're very important in that phase one of your detoxification. That's phase one and phase two. And phase one is very dependent on those B vitamins, very dependent. And you're not going to get most of it that you need or in an insufficient quantity eating the average food today. So, and especially if you're doing the packaged processed foods.
Right. And that's a lot of people just can't stay away from those because it's convenient. It's convenient for you to do something like that.
Our buddies up in Canada just did a study. It's just published. It was on one of our websites that we go to for news and health and so on this morning. And they looked at 40-some thousand packaged processed foods. And they only took 30 different names for sugar. Okay, in other words, there's about 50 or 60 actually. But they took 30 of the most common, high fructose corn syrup being one of them. And then about 29 others. There's really a lot more. And they looked at that, and they said at least 60% of that 40-some thousand foods that they looked at had that sugar in it. In a different name. Added sugar in a different name.
Not naturally occurring sugar in whatever it was you were eating, and not things that turned to sugar. It was added.
And it's added, and also...
Why is it necessary to add sugar?
Well, they want it to taste better.
Look, cardboard is not just necessarally that good at tasting. So, we got to make this stuff taste
good. Add a little sugar to it.
Add some sugar.
Peanut butter, too.
That's right. And, so when you start looking at something like that and you realize that, gosh, we are really getting these toxins. So if we're eating that kind of food, you're not going to get the nutrients you need to properly detox.
Right. So the problem is everyone's getting toxins. I mean, even as good as... You can try being as good as you possibly can, and you're going to get toxins. It's just, does your body have what it needs on a daily basis to detoxify? Because we actually stress, we don't stress detoxifying once a year. We don't. I think people need to detoxify every day because you're getting toxins every day. So you need what your body needs in order to detoxify on a daily basis, not just once a year.
All right, our phone lines are 896-0713, 800-349-0713. If you have a question regarding detoxing your body, starting out a new you for 2017, please give us a call. We'll be glad to get you on the air, or you can just pass the question along to our operator, and they'll pass the question along to us. But different ways of detoxing. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sure there's several. Instead of just,
there's many. I mean, that's the thing. Our body's got, it's pretty complex. Some of these, trying to package up some of these chemicals that we're getting in the food supply and the air and water and so on. And the body has to package it up in a method that it can either get it out, excrete it through the kidneys as a urine product, a byproduct, or through the liver, and that'll go out through, most of the time going through the bile salts and going out through the intestines, through, that kind of elimination. So it's a very complex chemical stuff going on all the time. And every 60 seconds, there's 1.5 liters of blood goes through your liver, average adult liver. Every 60 seconds. That's a lot of blood. Has to be processed. And think about it. If you got all this toxin stuff built up in you, and it tends to accumulate in the fat tissue. And we've talked about this time of year, everybody's losing a little bit of weight. You're getting rid of a lot of toxins, and that's why a lot of people start feeling so bad when they start changing their diet. They say, oh, well, I changed my diet and I felt like garbage for about a week or two. Oh, I can't stand it. I just had to quit and go back to the other garbage. Well, seriously, that's what they tell us.
But
they say, well,
if you're burning fat, as fat is burned, you release toxins into the system. And so people get toxic when they start a weight loss program. And so you need to, at the same time, be doing stuff for detoxification as you're losing weight.
So that 1.5 miles I did this morning was detoxing all the way.
It
Huh?
could, yeah. Well, and they know sweating is part of detoxification.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it. And, we always tell people, again, it needs to be on a daily basis, not just once in a while. And so many people are lacking the nutrients needed for their body to detoxify.
And that's when you get to that really yucky feeling. I mean, people seriously, when they start losing a little bit of weight or changing their diet around, and that's why a lot of people say, well, if I tried eating right and I felt like garbage. Yeah, you did.
You're going to at first.
Because your body's not used to it.
No,
exactly. Your body's not used to that.
And you start getting rid of toxins.
And you get rid of all that toxic stuff, and all of a sudden you're very toxic. And you're going to have to work through that, and you're going to have plenty of good, fresh, clean water, not overabundance, but you want to have enough to where your body can detoxify. All
right, Joanne from Bay St. Louis is on the phone with us. Good morning, Joanne. What's your question?
Yes, I was just wondering, what are some good things that you can do on a daily basis to help detoxify your body?
Okay, we have a couple of the products, and they're actually going to be the specials this week, and we'll get into a little bit more detail about them later. But there's actually, we have a product called Liver Support and Detox, and then also another one called PhytoOxyPro. And the nutrients in there kind of gives you everything you need for the body to detoxify. Now, it does not contain the B vitamins, so we always recommend to do a multivitamin for the B vitamins. And actually, probiotics are really beneficial at helping get rid of the toxins once you gather them up. Now, another thing is you have to eliminate. If someone is not going to the bathroom regularly, you're going to reabsorb the toxins. So that's a big thing. I always say, and water. Water, water, water. That is something that people can do on a daily basis, and not drink the sugary drinks and not drink the stuff that actually is putting bad stuff in you, but definitely doing water to get rid of the toxins that you are gathering. All
right. Thanks for your call. Amy from Pass Christian, hang on. We'll be right back with your call in just a moment. We're going to take a quick break, pay a few bills.
There you go.
And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox and Doctors of Nutrition on Callan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. We're talking about detoxing your body today, and actually a carryover from last week. Amy from Pass Christian has a question for the doctors. Good morning, Amy. What's your question?
Good morning. Are y'all saying vitamin B is in boy or D is in dog? And if you're saying D is in boy, I know there's different types of Bs, like B12.
Right.
I wasn't sure.
We are saying B, like
as in
boy.
Baker.
And it takes a multitude of the B vitamins, not just one, for detoxification.
Yeah, I mean, B1, thiamine, for instance, very, very, very important. Niacin, very important. Things, that are in the B vitamin family, inositol, some of the other ones that you don't see, choline and so on and so forth, those are in the B family. But they're just not something routinely, classified as a B1 or B12 or something like that, although B12 is important. But, all those B vitamins are extremely important in that phase 1, which is the beginning process of the detoxification process.
Right. And now you have to have phase 2. I always tell people, a lot of people take a multi and they get their B vitamins, and they're good at gathering their toxins. And when you gather toxins, and that's what phase 1 helps you do, you have to have phase 2 then to get rid of it. And
I have another question.
Okay.
I drink coffee in the morning, like maybe 2 or 3 cups.
Okay.
And is that real toxin, or should I start drinking green tea or white tea?
Actually, coffee is just probably better for you and good for you as the
They've
green tea.
actually found health benefits to coffee. Now, one of the problems is some of the chemicals used to process it. We do recommend getting organic coffee if possible, and there's a lot of them out there that have organic coffee now.
Yeah.
So, get rid of the chemicals. And like I said, you can drink a little bit of green tea during the day because green tea has been shown to detoxify, so that's actually good. But like I said, the coffee, just don't fill it up with a bunch of junk. One of the worst foods listed. Okay, I'll say
black coffee's great.
One of the
Amy.
worst things listed on the foods that are the worst for you is those creamers.
Yeah.
It is nothing but chemicals. And so I always say you got to look what you put in your coffee. But if you're doing black coffee and you're not adding a bunch of stuff to it, you're probably okay. But don't overdo it. They always say, I mean, too much coffee can cause problems too. But 2 or 3 cups, if they're true cups, are probably okay.
Well, thank y'all so much.
Oh,
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching.
But it's sugar-free creamer.
It doesn't matter.
doesn't
Those
matter.
creamers are just fake food.
No,
I mean, you talk about fake food.
But it's not a whole lot.
Trump talks about
Maybe
fake-
about like a tablespoon.
Okay, well, Trump talks about fake news. Well, we're talking about fake food, okay?
Yeah, those creamers are fake food for
Fake
sure.
food, okay.
Plus, I
Always-
use double filters on my. I won't
Yeah.
say the brand because it's a well-known brand of coffee, but I'll use I call it a double filter because I put the paper one in the bottom, and then it's got the wire screen filter that goes in on top of that too. So it kind of double filters it
See,
out.
we use the non-chemical filters because the filters have chemicals in
You can
them
actually
too.
get.
Well, I mean, these are natural filters.
Okay, good,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
good,
I do get those.
Because you
yeah.
can.
That's
There's so
what
many things out there that when you start
Yeah.
looking, it's like, man, it's in everything.
Trying to stay away from toxins is just
It's
about
hard.
impossible. I mean, it's seriously the best you can do is tough.
Yeah.
You're still going to get them.
But just a second ago, we were talking about phase 1 and phase 2.
Right,
We really
right,
didn't
right.
get. Now, phase 2 takes a whole different group of things to help detoxification. And that's what a lot of people don't get.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that phase 1, phase 2 thing, phase 1, and that's where your B vitamins and everything come into process. They package up this stuff into some intermediate compounds, and then hand it off to the liver, and the liver says, okay, well, I got to do this phase 2 thing, and I've got to have certain nutrients to do that. And, you know, we're talking some very specific nutrients for that. And a lot of times if you go out and let's say, for instance, you're just taking a multivitamin that's got the B vitamins in it. Oh, I got this covered. No. What you've got is you've got phase 1 outrunning phase 2. So you're building up a lot of these intermediate compounds and your body can't get rid of them. So you got to have that phase 2. Now, this liver detoxing support that we're going to have on sale this week, what we do with that is we got the stuff in it for phase 1.
No, phase 2.
Well, no, we got phase 1 too. Phase 1's
Yeah.
covered, but we got way more for phase
two.
2 because we want phase 2 to outrun, if you will,
Because you
phase
want
1.
You want to get rid of those toxins.
gotta get
and
rid of it.
the type of nutrients that's in there is stuff like methionine,
Right.
alpha-lipoic
acid.
alpha-lipoic acid, N-acetylcysteine, milk thistle, turmeric, something called calcium D-glucarate, which is used in glucuronidation part of the pathway, which a lot of people don't get
That's
things
phase
like that.
2.
Right, and that's phase 2. So it's a combination of all these things, and it even has something called limonene. And limonene is real strong for getting rid of toxins. And the good thing about the limonene, it's also very cancer preventative. But when you start looking at phase 2 detoxification, a lot of it is very much cancer prevention as well.
Very much, yeah.
Dawn from Ocean Springs wanted to know if there's such a thing as drinking too much water.
Definitely.
Usually, you know, here's something that typically anybody's going to be normally safe with. If you take your body weight, as I say, it's 150 pounds, divide it by 2.1, okay, that's going to tell you how many kilos you have. And you take that kilo, how many kilos, so if you're 50 kilos, then about 50 ounces of water should be adequate for you. If you're a little bigger than that, it might take 60, but you know, you get the point. Just take your body weight, divide it by 2.1 and 2.2, somewhere in that range, and you're going to get how many ounces of water you really need to drink to stay safe.
And if you do heavy exercise and you're sweating a whole lot, you may be
Have to do a
need a
little
little bit
more.
more than that. And that's kind of your minimum, but you don't want to overdo it because, like we said, you can get too much. You can wash out your minerals.
Right.
All right. Jamie from Gulfport's on the phone with a question for you. Good morning, Jamie. What's your question for the doctors?
Good morning, and thank you.
Morning.
Thank you.
I've been told that you could take like 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, along with some water, and that would detox
It
your
helps.
body.
It helps, but it's not 100% because it doesn't give you all your nutrients for phase 1 and phase 2. So that alone is not going to just detoxify everything. But it definitely isn't going to hurt. And most people, apple cider vinegar make them feel better, and it can actually help, but it's not going to give you all the nutrients that you need.
Helps with the digestion. A lot of people take that a little bit further, Jamie, too, and they'll take the apple cider vinegar and they'll take a little bit of like lemon juice. Well, there you're getting your limonene, which is like
limonene is in your lemon, lime, stuff like that is where you get limonene.
So I mean, you're on the right track. You just need a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks, Jimmy.
Real quick, got about a minute left. Larry from Pascagoula, you have a question for the doctors?
Yes, I was wanting to know on phase 2 with the liver detox. If you have fatty liver, would the liver detox be good for that?
Honestly, we use something different for fatty liver because what we have found, if you try to force phase 2 and the liver is fatty, it can't detoxify properly. So we actually have another product called Hepatotone Plus that is a detoxifier, but it's used for more fatty liver because it has a lot of fat emulsifiers in it. So it's a little bit different. So there is a little bit difference when you start talking about some of the health problems. So that's one reason why we always tell people come in and talk to us. You know, we actually can talk to you and find what is best for you individually. But we do have stuff for fatty liver.
All right. Thanks for your call, Larry. We'll be back in just a moment with our final segment here and this week's special. And welcome back to our final segment this morning of our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living. Live healthy, be healthy with Dr. Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition. They're located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5:30, Saturdays 11 to 2. And the doctors are in on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And Dr. Bull is there all week long.
Yep, so Monday through Friday.
Slave drivers, he has to work every day.
Anyway, Amy in Gulfport's on the phone with us now with a question. Good morning, Amy. What's your question?
Good morning. I put a large tablespoon of coconut oil in my smoothie. If I don't have a smoothie, I do that in my afternoon coffee. Is coconut oil good for me? Is it a detox?
Doesn't really help with the detoxification, but it is good for you. It's good fat.
It actually is a good fat, and it's been shown to actually help brain function. I always do tell people, though, with coconut oil, you got to be careful. If you have high LDL cholesterol, it can increase it. So it depends on the person.
It increases cholesterol?
It does.
Slightly.
It does also, though, increase the HDLs, which it's really hard to increase HDLs, but that is one of the things that will do it. But if the LDLs tend to be really high, I always just tell people if you start doing coconut oil, have your lipids checked. Make sure it doesn't greatly elevate them. Some people it does and some people it doesn't. But otherwise, it's really good for the brain.
All right, thanks, Amy, for your call. Jill from Pascagoula is on the phone with us now with a question. Good morning, Jill. What's your question?
Good morning. I have a friend that was told that she was copper deficient and was just doing a little research on it. And do you see that is that a thing that you see that's rare a lot, or what would be some things that you could maybe take or eat or something that would maybe increase your copper?
You know, it's not something that's extremely common. Okay, but we do see it. We do see it. You know, we check it on folks, and we do find it. And it will throw you some pretty weird anemia-looking stuff on your lab work. But as far as, you know, organ meat, you know, here's something that modern folks don't eat, and that's organ meat. You know, like your liver and kidneys, and, you know, I mean,
I love a good beef liver.
Oh, yeah.
That's some good stuff with sauteed onions on it.
And with copper deficiencies, you see a lot of arthritis and joint pain. That's why a lot of these copper bracelets that people wear, that's how it works, is it soaks copper in, and copper does help with joint pain. So and the anemias, you can actually have a copper deficiency. It's not something we see every day, but it's possible. Now, we also have copper supplements that people can take, but always when taking copper, you want to take adequate zinc to keep from depleting your zinc.
A little bit of a balance.
Because if you take a lot of copper, it can deplete zinc. And a lot of zinc can deplete copper. So even with a copper deficiency, you have to make sure you're not taking huge amounts of zinc, and that might be the cause. So you just got to look at it.
All right. Brady from Biloxi is our next caller. Good morning, Brady. What's your question for the doctors?
Yes, sir. Is there any detoxification factors drinking alkaline water?
Well, I mean, you're getting a lot of your minerals. For sure. I mean, and that's always a good thing, is to make sure you're getting the minerals.
You're getting your minerals and you're getting water.
Yeah.
So I mean, that actually does have a part in it. A lot of the stuff for detoxification, even some of the nutrients needed, is found a lot in vegetables. So a lot of like sulforaphane, which is, they know that's a really strong detoxifier. It comes from broccoli.
Had that this morning for breakfast.
Yeah. Really?
I did.
That's
broccoli
good.
and some baby carrots.
But
That's what I had for breakfast this morning.
Drinking water in general is good, and alkaline water I do think is good because it does have your minerals.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was raw broccoli. So,
Oh, okay.
You know,
And like I said, minerals play, there's so many things that play a role in detoxification. But we mentioned the broccoli and the sulforaphane and the limonene from your lemons and limes. There's a lot of stuff you get, but a lot of people don't eat real food anymore. And when you don't eat real food, you don't get the nutrients.
Well, when you think about that Canadian study, and they tested 40-some thousand packaged processed foods,
and 60% of them had
60-something% had sugar.
Wow. And a lot of your fruits, and even it's the peels that might have more of it in there, because actually for limonene, it is actually more in your lemon peel than it is in the lemon itself.
So it's best to, like
some people zest a lemon, and that's
I was
actually
going to say,
really
zesting a lemon, putting it with a meal or something like that.
Really good because that's really
lemon
good
or
detoxifier.
lime.
So even if people that do lemon every morning, lemon water for detoxification, put a little of that zest in it. It'll even make it better.
Everybody's got a grater or something in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't make it too big or it gets caught in your teeth. But let's get to our special.
Oh yes, our special this week. Your special this week.
Yeah.
The liver detox and support. Now that's the one that we were talking about that has the phase 1 and phase 2 support for the liver. And then of course that phytoxypro, like Janine said, that's just going to have things in it like that sulforaphane and some other antioxidants that are really, really, really huge in the detoxification. And it's something you just take on a daily basis.
And those are both things that you can take on a daily basis. We do ourselves because, we know we live in a toxic world. And even though, I don't think that we're more toxic than anybody, we're probably a lot less toxic because we take a lot of stuff. But we do take it every day, just a little bit. Now, if somebody has a liver problem, we might go to higher doses. But even doing just one a day can actually give you a little bit of what you need to actually make sure you detoxify on a daily basis.
So what is a good, we just got a few minutes left. What is a good rule of thumb? Somebody who wants to do a detox or, try to straighten themselves out. What is a good rule of thumb maybe to go by? And I'm sure it differs with everybody.
I always say those colon cleansers are not necessarily a detox.
No, the things that we talk about probably on a daily basis, weekly basis here, staying away from your packaged processed foods. Okay, that's number one. Eating good, clean food. Eating, real food. Okay, real food. We call it a real food diet.
Getting enough water.
Right, getting adequate water. Making sure you're getting a lot of these nutrients like the B vitamins and things like that go along with it. So, all of those things, that's part of, and drinking plenty of good, clean water. That's part of that detoxification that you do every day.
Yeah, we really think that it's every day. Yeah. I think these programs, now some people say I want a yeast detox. Well, that's totally different. We have stuff to get rid of yeast in the body, and that's more
specific.
Which is
caused by too much sugar.
It's caused by
sugar.
It's actually fed by sugar.
Yeah, if you have a problem, and I found this out about last week, a week or so ago, I just started itching a lot. And matter of fact, Brooke was the one that looked at it and said, yeast, in fact, you got a yeast problem because you got too much sugar in your system.
Yeah.
So
and
it's like
you stopped and it got better, didn't it?
It has gotten much better.
And so, in probiotics actually are one of those things that probably everybody out there needed to be taken.
Yeah.
Because that can be done on a daily basis, and it helps carry toxins away from the system. It also helps elimination, so it keeps the bowels regular, and it's just good for overall health.
Yeah, the more research
and it helps with
out.
keeping yeast down too.
Yeah,
so it's even part of the yeast detoxification. When you start talking about yeast detoxification, we change people's diet, take them off sugar, put them on a product to kill yeast like the AF Essentials and probiotics.
And just be careful, as we said, that if you start a detoxing program, that you don't go overboard. And the best thing to do is go in and talk to them.
Yeah.
Next week, if you've got a teenager, you better watch the show.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about problems that we're seeing in teenagers and the lab work we're doing on teenagers that might surprise you.
It can be scary. So anyway, have yourself a great, beautiful day when you get out today, and a great week. We will see you next Monday.